Hello and welcome to the start of your Raw Online program. My name's Luke and I'll be coaching you throughout the duration of this. Now, the purpose of this first video is just to show you how to find your way around the Truecoach app, which is where all your training and nutrition and essentially interaction with me will be centered through. So the first thing you'll need to do, you'll get when I create your profile, and so I'll create a profile for you, which is where I will put all your workouts and your nutrition, etc. You will get a notification about that, which should give you a link to your profile. What you'll then need to do is download the Truecoach for Clients app, which is nice and simple. It's a free app. And then you can start setting up your profile on there. So if I go into essentially my profile, which I've set up, and kind of show you around. So this would be your view once you're in. You can upload profile avatars and personal information and things like that as much as you want. But this is essentially going to be the center of what you're doing, which will be in your little profile button over here. So when you go on there, when you're all set up, what you'll find are, so your goals, I will add to your profile. So your goals will be there, and that's be relevant to the information you provided me on your consultation. So nutrition, this will be where all your nutrition plan is centered. So I'll come back to that in a second, but fundamentally you have your nutrition plan document here, which has some other information about the program. There's reference calories on here. So for example, for me, I've got the same calories each day. I can go in and add macronutrient targets, but I'll only do that if we've agreed that we're going to work on that, because generally I don't like people jumping the gun and starting to use MyFitnessPal and following macronutrient targets straight away. I'd usually prefer that it's something we work up to. But we'll come back to that in a second. So we'll examine the meal plan in a second. So metrics, this will be your markers of progress. So where are we? Metrics. So you have daily step count. This will just be your target. You don't have to necessarily enter it in here. You can, that information is then logged, but you also enter your average step count on your weekly check-in. So it's not essential you edit here. I will generally put you a target in here, which for most people will be around the 10,000 mark, and we can modify that as we go. Sleep length and quality. Again, this is an option for you to track, and it just gives me a little bit more transparency into what's going on in your lifestyle. Take measurements. This would be an important one that I would like you to fill in every week, generally on a Friday or Saturday, because our check-ins are on a Sunday. So I will, based on your consultation, I'll enter in your initial measurements, and then each week I need you to update them. And the reference of where to take these measurements from is on your consultation at the back, which you should have seen by now. So yeah, make sure these are filled in each week accurately. Water intake. So your water target will be in here. So for me, it's 3 liters. Some people, it might be lower. Some people, it might be higher. And then your weigh in, again, enter your weight each week into this area, and your starting weight I will have already entered. Your progress pictures will be here. Again, I will have put your starting photos in ready, but I want new ones each week, because then we can do a comparison. I don't think I've got any of mine uploaded, but it's very simple. You add progress pictures and you just upload them as you would anything else. So equipment. Again, if you've given me specific equipment notes, I will probably have added this in for you from your consultation. But if you do have any change in gym circumstance, so if you start working at home or something, you can add that information in there. So documents, what you'll find in here is you'll find the raw menus. Okay. So just before we open that, if we jump back to where your nutrition plan is. So if I open this, and it's going to make me open it in here. Okay, so So I'll just open mine as an example of what you'll find. So to start off with, we will have information about the plan, etc., which you can read as you go on. But when we come to the nutrition plan, so this will be how it will look for you. Okay. And what we'll have, well, some of the information's disappeared on here. That's fine. I think I can just add that back in roughly. Okay, so these are just roughly what I'm currently having. It's not representative of what you will, but just to give you an overview of how this works. So, okay, so it's essentially a meal plan format. So breakfast, all this corresponds. So the breakfast refers to the breakfast options which are in your raw menus document, which we'll come back to in a second. So when it says ×1, 500 calorie. Okay, so all the breakfast options are 500 calories. So this is telling you can have one breakfast from the options in the raw menus document, which we'll have a look at in a second. So we have carbohydrates. Again, the raw menus document has a bunch of options for carbohydrate. Some are 100, some are 200 calories. Because I've put ×4 here and it comes up to 800 calories, that means it will be 4 200 calorie options, and I can have any of the ones on the list. Again, okay, that would be ×2 here. So lunch, all the lunch options are 500 calories ×2, which means I'm going to have 2 of those options. So essentially I'm having 4 meals a day because I'm having 1 breakfast, 2 lunches, 1 dinner. And each of those are 500 calories, so a net 1,000 calories. That can be eaten as one large meal or split up as 2 meals. So snack, 1, they're all 250 calories. Choose from the list. Dinner, ×1, choose from the list. And that's the total calories that nets. So we'll refer back to the raw document in a second. And the other thing which you'll need to look at is the supplements I want you to take. Now, these are the specific raw products which you can email clients at rawfitness.com and place your order, and we'll post them out to you if you live in the UK. If you're overseas, we have to source alternative ones, but I can help you with that. So anything that's ticked is what I want you to take. Okay. So because obviously these have got kind of branded names, if you have to source them yourself, the next page just elaborates on what they are. So Absolute is a multivitamin, Illuminate is vitamin D3, etc. So you would source equivalent products from that. Okay, so going back to the meal plan format, so we're looking at, like I said, ×1 breakfast option, for example. So if we go back to here, and so the menus document is in the document section. So there it is, raw menus, which we can download. Which will just take a moment. It's a relatively large document because there's lots of recipes on there. But as I said, you will pick any of your breakfast options, lunch options, dinner options, carbs, etc. from this list. Whether you have something different every day, whether you eat the same thing every day is entirely up to you. Both work equally well. And for best results, obviously follow these as accurately as possible. Okay, so let's open this up and I'll show you how it looks. And here we go. Okay, so as we see here, the food plan, for example, said ×1 breakfast options. That will correspond to 500 calorie breakfast options. So you would choose any of these for 1 portion. Okay. For example, mine said ×2 lunch options. So here are your lunch options. I would pick any 2 of these to eat throughout the day. They all come to 500 calories. Again, and I had 1 dinner option, which would correspond to any of these. My carbs, so my carb options are further back, and the calorie options there. I had 1 snack option, which I was allowed, and I had 4 carb options. So if I scoot all the way to the back of the document here, it's fair for you to go. Let's just drag the bar down to speed it up and just let it catch up. I'm in a garden office like many people at this time, so internet's a little slower out here. So if we just give it a second, it should catch up with us very soon. Here we go. Okay, so how did that? Okay, so the fat snack. So I just on my plan, I was allowed 1 of these. So for example, I could have 45 grams of cashew as a snack in between meals. Ideally not after bed, just for digestive reasons. And I was allowed 4 carb options. So here are my carb options. As I said, I was having the 200 calorie options. So I have 4 200 calorie, which are here. So we have rice, quinoa, couscous, oats, sweet potato, etc., fruit. So you could have these with meals, or you could have them in between meals in the case of things like fruits or oats or things like that. Generally, we would want to have these later on in the day, lunchtime onwards, unless you are training in the morning, which if you had them around your training times, that's fine. But otherwise, I generally avoid these in the mornings. Okay, so that's the food plan. So your food nutrition plan and the document it corresponds to, which is the raw menus. And then finally, let's just look at, so if we go on the calendar, we go to your, just one little thing you can do is if you need to contact me directly, you have a little messaging option here rather than emailing me, because there's more chance of it getting lost. You can just email me. You can just direct message me through here. And the little knife and fork just gives the macros if I'd given you those details, which I haven't at this stage. Workouts, you click on the calendar. So let's say you can look at upcoming ones if they've been programmed. You can look at past ones if you need reference. So let's say if I look at my workout, so I'll go into this in a little more depth in a different video, just to not make this too long. But you would find it by clicking the calendar link there. And you have your exercise names, you have the number of sets, number of reps, the tempo, which I'll expand on, the rest period. And if you need to see what you lifted last time as a reference point, you click View Exercise History. If you need an example video of the exercise, you can click Demo Video, and it will pop up with a reference video of the exercise itself. So no need to be going through kind of PDF documents or going on YouTube or anything like that. It's all on here. But I'll do that in a different video just to give you a bit more information. But you would complete your workouts by, in the little text box here, you would say what weight you've used, what reps you've achieved for each set. And then obviously I can see that information, and then that's how I will judge how successful your workouts are. Okay, so I think that wraps up how to use this app. Obviously, any questions can be directed, and always press update results at the end. Otherwise, the information gets lost if you close the app without pressing update or save. So I think that wraps up what you need to know about how to use the Truecoach app. Any questions, email your coach through the direct messaging function. But otherwise, good luck with your first phase. And it's very user-friendly, so you'll crack it within a day.